Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in podcast land. Brendan Cunningham, the real estate factor for EXP. Matt Paul, giving you all the information that you need to know. And gosh, there's some information out there right now.
A lot going on this week.
A lot going on this week.
Yep.
And I'm going to give you two words of advice to remember at the end of this show. You can only do it on this day. Only on this day. You'll see. Stay tuned. All right. So what's going on in the world?
Oh, well, so we have a minor conflict
It's
going
not
on.
a war, but it looks like a war. It looks like a war, smells like a war, people are dying. It's not good.
Yep. And that's in Iran. We have spring is starting to break a little bit here in Western New York.
It's not official, but I'm looking. I see no snow out my window. Now,
these bright, shiny objects in the sky.
It's round. It's nice. Yeah, it's good. It's in the what, high 40s today?
Yeah, close to 50, and then we might even see 70 over the weekend.
Wow.
So
wow.
That's going to feel good.
It's going to feel real good because winter's long up here and people get cabin fever and divorces spike usually in April because people come out of the house and they're crazy.
Stuck in the house for the last 4 months.
Real estate wise, interesting. I've had a bunch of conversations with people this week, all of them interrelated. And I think part of what happens is when things that are big news, like
national big,
like international big, world news, like we have in the Middle East and stuff like that. People get nervous and they say, well, we're going to have a market crash. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Prices are going to, I understand they're going to fall like crazy. No. That is not going to happen. But I have a cousin-in-law that I just met that I saw at a 70-year-old surprise birthday party. It was really terrific. And he came over and he says, he's got the 3 kids. They're kind of bursting at the seams in this house.
Yep.
And they did well. I said, well, you're going to make a lot of money when you sell it. And he says, yeah, but when I buy, he says, can I expect the prices at some point to come down? And I said to him, I said, listen, especially around here, because I just posted a blog post with respect to this. People are saying, well, the prices are falling. They are not.
Not in the Western New York area.
And especially not in Western New York, but they are not. There are pockets. But if you take in all of the pockets where prices have maybe had some dips, there's some places in Florida for sure.
Texas, Florida.
Yeah, Texas, yeah. If you take in all of those, all the numbers nationally, prices are still going up. Now, they're not going up a lot. In fact, year over year, they're up 1.3%. Okay, it's not quite 2. Yep. So your median price of a house in the United States, I think, is $419 and change. Okay? So they're not going down, but they're not going up quite as fast as they used to.
Yep.
Well, let's go from the global market and take it here. If I'm looking to put an offer on a house, what should I expect? Should I expect multiple offers? Yeah. He didn't hesitate on that. This is not rehearsed.
No.
I mean, we're live, even though you may not be getting this live. We didn't say, well, what are you going to say here? Yeah, it's just part of the deal. I'm talking to a guy, he's looking at a house, and he said, what does it mean when they say they don't have a cutoff date and they're going to take offers as they come in? Does that mean I'm going to have more of an opportunity? Speak to that.
Well, that's the thought.
That's the thought.
However, the seller still has the right to set a definitive date for offers. So if you're getting a ton of activity and you don't have that deadline in, and you have a booked weekend full of showings, and somebody tries to submit an offer on Friday, most agents are going to say, I talk to the seller, and the seller's going to say, let's honor the rest of these showings that we have on schedule.
Sure, why not? I may have an opportunity there.
And we'll set it for Monday at noon.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, yep. But because I think the delayed showing negotiation form that we have to submit in order to do that, I feel like that deterred a lot of buyers in the last year or so that have been in the market getting beat up. It's
interesting how it affects people's behaviors.
Yep, because once that deadline dropped, I had that on a few listings, then the activity took off. So if you don't list the deadline, you're gonna most likely not deter a couple buyers that have been in the market getting beaten up the last year or so. Yeah.
And you notice none of these questions and answers can really be answered with a yes. No. Well, it's yes, but let me understand so that you understand how this works.
Yes. Yep.
Because it's complex.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to real estate.
A lot of moving parts. Yeah. So he says, well, I said, well, this is what I'm going to tell you. I mean, and unfortunately, a lot of people say they, what can I get the house for? You might get the house for the asking price. You might.
Yeah.
But these days, I'm still seeing it probably average about 15%.
Yeah, it can be up to 15. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 3
As
to
a
5
general rule.
on average.
And sometimes, you'll see things go $100,000 over. That's still happening. And when you tell people that, sometimes I could hear in his voice that he was bristling a little bit. He says, it sounds like you're trying to get me to pay more. I said, I'm not trying to get you to do anything. I'm just telling you.
Being honest.
And that's the premise of this show. We will not tell you what you want to hear, but we'll tell you what you need to know. And then you make the decisions accordingly.
Exactly.
But yeah, he says, they don't have a date. Maybe I can get in and they'll just accept my offer. I said, that's a possibility. I said, there's another possibility. You could consider an escalation clause. I said, but let me tell you how that works. Some people like them, some people don't. And it's complex again. I don't have a problem with them, but some people do.
Yep.
And that's a whole other show as to why.
Yeah, and you can use it, and if your client wants you to write up an offer with the escalation, that's your fiduciary duty to do so.
Yeah. So. And I've seen them work for buyers. I've seen them work against buyers. I've seen them work for sellers. I've seen them work against buyers. It's poker.
Yeah, it really
is. It's poker, and you don't know what the winning hand's going to be. And that's something else. The other fellow said, well, if I put an offer in and I want to change my offer, I said, it's a very interesting strategy. I said, but understand something. There's no law that says you get a second bite at the apple.
There's no guarantee that they're going to counter negotiate.
Yeah, we sounded the gavel. You're out of Dodge. This is it.
So that's pretty common. I think that's more common now than it was 10 years ago.
I mean, I'm not giving anyone second bites at the apple. This is it. You had your shot. We told you what it was. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Put your best offer forward.
Yeah.
That's what we're negotiating on.
Part of the problem with the escalation clause is a lot of people feel that it's eroded the principle of bringing your highest and best.
And I do feel that way, right? Because you're saying, I'm willing to pay up to this, but I'm going to give you this if you'll take it. And then if nobody else says that they're, that it's worth
it's like
more.
saying I want to be a little pregnant.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yep. Exactly. Did you see in the news about Douglas Jamal's sons, how they sold their house in Nottingham for 2.75?
Yeah.
And they bought it for 1.5?
Yeah, they did all right.
So that just
how many
goes
years?
to show you 5 years, 4 years.
So 5 years. So what? Give me the 275. What did they pay?
1.5.
So they made 1.25 in 7 years.
In 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. And I'm sure they did some renovations, but that just goes to show you the appreciation in our market as well.
And it also goes to show you it didn't take long to sell that house.
No.
Historically.
At that price point around here.
At that price point?
Yeah.
You go back 5 years, maybe 1 or 2 houses sold over $1 million. Now we sell in the hundreds. Now we're getting
had over 10 year to date.
Okay.
I think that was like the 11th or 12th in our Erie County.
Yeah. So that's changed.
Yep.
And so I'm having this conversation with my cousin-in-law, and he asked the proverbial question. He says, well, this is crazy. The prices just keep going up. He says, they can't keep going up forever. And I said, well, let me tell you, and I told him the story about my first house. I paid $65,000. It was in downtown Brooklyn, and it turned over 2 years ago for $3.25 million. It's the same house, same housing project,
footprint,
same housing project, literally 100 yards away. But that's the market. Well, that can't happen here. And I said, well, why not? It's just going to take longer.
Well, and if you look at population and demand, I mean, our population has been growing here. Our housing inventory has not grown to the same extent that the demand of the population is.
No, and I always used to describe this market as a toothpaste market. They said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I said, it's not growing. It's not like if you go to places like Vegas where they keep building out into the desert, but they have crashes because of that.
Yeah,
I said,
absolutely.
Here, the market really, there's some new construction, but for the amount of new construction, it almost doesn't count.
Yeah.
I said, the only thing that happens here is people will move from Amherst to Clarence. They'll move from the city either to Cheektowaga or to Amherst. A lot of them go, if they're in South Buffalo, they go south towns.
Yep.
The toothpaste just moves around.
It does, yeah. Yep.
But it's not really growing, because the population, although it's increasing marginally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of around here, in terms of like new builds, development projects, there's a lot of wetlands, right? So I was born and raised in Clarence, and right
It's
now,
a walking wetland.
it's hard to get. It's hard to get usable, buildable.
Get your wellies
lots.
on. Yeah.
Because you're in floodplain, so we're limited in that regard as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the demand around here is I just see it increasing because more and more people are staying here, moving here. Yep.
And we had the mortgage friend. He was telling us, he corroborated what we've been saying is, and because it's all relative, but because relative to the rest of the other big cities around us, this is a bargain town.
Yeah.
This is a bargain town.
Yep.
So somebody that's in New York City or Pittsburgh or I mean
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, you come from Boston, you come here, you can live like a king.
Yep.
If you're selling in Boston.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going from here to Boston, shoot yourself.
It's gonna be a bit of a challenge there.
That's a challenge.
Yep.
Yeah. So that doesn't help things. So when I said to my poor cousin Charlie there, I said, listen, if you're going to do something, just understand something. If you do it this year, it's better than doing it next year. Mm-hmm. And I said, because just let's do the math. Let's say your house is worth $400,000. You're going to be buying a house probably $400 or more, but let me keep the number 400 because it's an easy number. Yep. Well, if prices go up 5% year over year, you're going to be paying $20,000 more next year. Mm-hmm. Wait 2 years, well, you're going to be paying another. So I said, well, but he says, but the interest rate might come down. I said, it's a negative. By the time you factor it all in, unless the interest rate dropped
like a whole point or
something, it would have to drop even more than that to cancel that out. And that's not going to happen.
No,
I don't think. And if it does, something really, really bad has happened. And if that did happen, the floodgates would open so much that, of course, we have supply and demand. You can never get around that. Mm-hmm. People would be rushing into the market. Prices would go up astronomically.
Just like they did after COVID.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
all the pent-up demand.
Yeah, all the pent-up demand. It was crazy. Yep. So part of what we do in our life is we do myth busting.
Yeah,
That's
true.
I mean, really,
that's true. Yep.
So again, I know you read this, and it's really tragic that. I mean, I understand that the whole hallmark of journalism is that bad news sells better than good news.
Yeah,
it just does.
Unfortunate.
So they're just going to spin everything to say the sky is falling. This terrible thing. Everything's terrible, and the real estate market's going to collapse. Mm-hmm. And the numbers don't bear it out.
Yeah, no.
You really
and the history.
The history doesn't bear it out.
Nope.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're here to give you the straight scoop, and if you want the straight scoop, you probably want to do business with guys like us.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's harsh, and I know I can hear it in people's voices. They say, well, it sounds like you're trying to get me. I said, listen, we're just trying to get you a house.
Yeah.
You got to do what you have to do, and you may not be happy. I mean, I always think of it as the cost of bread. And we can remember back when they were starting to do price fixing under Nixon. Mm-hmm. Total disaster. And I can remember one of the guys I worked with says, you know what? Pretty soon guys are going to be paying $2 a loaf for bread. I was in Wegmans the other day. I think they had a loaf of bread for $8.
Yeah, it's at least.
I'm sure it was good bread. Yeah. I'm sure it was good bread, but it was $8.
Yeah,
Yep. And it had nothing to do with inflation. It was the cost of making that bread.
Exactly.
Yep. So. Yep. Yes, so there's all of that going on. We also have the home show this week.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the Buffalo Home Show. It runs 2 weekends in March.
Look what I have.
Yeah, we have some tickets.
We have tickets to the home show.
Yep.
So if you want tickets to the home show, reach out to us. We have tickets. Now, if you don't want to take advantage of our tickets, you can show up at the door, and I think the price is
$12 now.
Is it $12? If you have 2 tickets, it's $24. It's sort of like having a couple of drinks on us.
Yep.
And you know what? The home show is actually a cool thing to go to every couple of years. Yeah, they have window salesmen there, and they have things like that. But you know what? You'll come across some things that are really kind of interesting.
That's what I like going for, like the latest technology stuff, like whether it's concrete leveling.
Stuff like that.
Overlays, garage, epoxy, covering.
The epoxy.
Like
I can remember I was
really cool.
at the home show there, and they showed this stuff that you troweled on over your Formica countertops. And I looked at it and I said, wow, that's incredible. You
can make it look like marble.
It looked just like marble. And I went over to it and I felt, and they went, it was yucky. It was so yucky. I said, I wouldn't have this. I don't care what it looks like. I would not have this in that. But I'm sure that people like it.
And that was really popular a few years ago.
Ah,
I remember that.
It was
you know?
yucky.
Yeah, it's
that's
interesting.
a real estate term for
Yeah,
the non-initiated. It was yucky.
The non-offensive term.
Yeah. So, but yeah, go to the home if you need tickets. See us, or you can pay at the door, and you will pay at the door. It's not like you just sneak in.
You're not sneaking in.
Oh no.
But it's a cool event. It's multiple levels. I mean, it's a whole convention center in Buffalo, and
Yeah,
it's a cool
and so I'll be giving some tickets away for anyone that wants them. But I'll probably pop over and look at it myself.
Yeah, if you're looking to do a project around the house this year, and you're thinking of whatever, trying to look at landscapers or just to take a look around.
And I'll give you an inside tip. It runs 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 13th, 14th, and 15th. So the Ides of March. Yep. You really want to go on like the last day.
Yeah, they're
because when
giving
they break,
stuff
when
away.
they want to give stuff away. Like the guys that sell in the spas, if it was $4,000 the thing, you could probably get it for about $1,800. Because just take it home. I don't want to move it again. I don't want to stick it in my truck. And there's a lot of So the inside scoop.
Yep, but sometimes people pack up early, so get there.
Yeah, don't get there too. At 4 o'clock. No. Get there at noon.
Midday.
Noon is good. Yeah, make a day of it. Take if you're married, make it a date thing.
There's food, great restaurants around there. I mean, I know they have some food and beverages inside as well. But,
but you go to a little local restaurant.
Yeah, Osteria right across the street.
Are they still there? Did they move?
No, so I think they're reinventing themselves. Yeah, so it might actually be closed right now, but I know that's happening this year.
Speaking of reinventing, we had Jay Desiderio on a couple of weeks ago, who's got Bobby J's Italian Grill over in Cheektowaga, but he also has his dinner theater. I think his kids, some of the fans, he's got a million Goombas. He does. I'm half Italian, I can say that. You can say it too. But yeah, I think some of his relatives just bought Tina's in Hamburg.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which was a great Italian restaurant. And for those of us that remember, that's unfortunately where Ilya DiPaolo got killed walking across the street there.
Oh, really?
Right there,
Bummer. Well, it's good to know a good restaurateur family's taking it over, and hopefully
and they know what they're doing. So it'll be another great restaurant we have, and that's one of the best reasons for moving to Buffalo. Frankly, this is one of the best restaurant towns anywhere. And we don't really sell it that way.
No. That's what I tell most people. Like, there's very few fast food chains in the city of Buffalo. I mean, it's really all local. It's all different cultural food, but it's local.
But mostly independents, not a lot of franchises. Nope. And the franchises don't usually do as well here. Nope. Well, that's our story. What else you got? Anything?
No, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Please smash that like and subscribe button and let us know what we can talk about on the show.
And if you're looking to buy or sell, this is the time. And remember, what is today? It's the advice I'm going to give you. March 4th and buy a house. March 4th and buy a house. Come on.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in.
And I'm Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor. Check us out.
Take care.